Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining us on your Saturday evening. I'm Tim Pham. We're starting off with weather tonight as we're expecting to see more rain and even some gusty wind this weekend. Michelle Boss is in the Weather Center tracking this for us. Hi Michelle.
Hi, and we've already seen both of those so far. We've obviously had the rain for pretty much most of the day and already seen wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Taking a look at some of the rain totals across the inland northwest as of 4 o'clock. Of course, it's still raining, so probably going to be adding to that over the next couple of hours. But 1200s at Spokane Airport, 1100s in Coeur d'Alene. Pullman, fortunately not seeing heavy rain, so no flooding concerns at this time. 1500ths of an inch. Moses Lake, 900ths. And again, still looking at some additional rain in the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area through this evening. Satellite and radar is showing the back edge of the rainfall, so seeing some sunshine right now in places like Omak and Moses Lake and Wenatchee, but I think we're still going to see that wet weather continue through the early evening hours across far eastern Washington and into the Idaho Panhandle. Kind of zooming in, and we are seeing a little bit of the yellow indicating some more moderate rain, especially north of Spokane, between Spokane and Deer Park. So again, could pick up maybe another 1/10 of an inch over the next hour or so in those heavier pockets. Temperatures definitely on the chilly side today. Spokane has dropped down into the upper 30s as of 5 o'clock. Temperatures elsewhere only in the 40s, and the gusty winds aren't making it feel any warmer. 17 miles an hour sustained winds, but as I mentioned earlier, we have seen gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Keeping that chance of rain in through the evening hours, drying out overnight. It's going to be a chilly start to tomorrow morning and another cool day with continued gusty winds, mostly cloudy skies, and highs only in the lower 50s.
Thanks so much, Michelle. New tonight, starting next school year, hundreds of Washington schools will offer every student breakfast after the first bell rings. Educators hope this will boost the number of students who will eat a nutritious meal before class. The program is called Breakfast After the Bell. The breakfast must meet federal nutrition standards with 25 grams of sugar or less. Schools where over 70% of students qualify for free and reduced lunch will be required to offer some form of the program. 390 schools will be required to participate. 21 of those are in the Spokane School District. One is in Meade School District. Another is in East Valley School District. You can find a full list of all of the schools at KREM.com. The clock is ticking. With just 2 days, taxes are due. This weekend is your last chance to file your taxes with the IRS. The IRS estimates nearly 1 in 10 filers, or 14.6 million taxpayers, will likely file for an extension this year. This is the largest number of requests ever received in a year. If you need more time, you have to file for a 6-month extension with Form 4868 by Monday. After first threatening to withhold funding from so-called sanctuary cities, President Trump has shifted course. This week, he proposed moving an influx of immigrants at the border to those sanctuary cities.
We'll bring the illegal, really you call them the illegals. I call them the illegals. They came across the border illegally. We'll bring them to sanctuary city areas and let that particular area take care of it.
There are a number of sanctuary cities across the country. New York City, Los Angeles, and San Francisco are just a few. Many Democrats attacked the plan, arguing it is wrong to use immigrants as political pawns. California Governor Gavin Newsom slammed the policy as political retaliation.
To use immigrants as pawns to put them in difficult and trying circumstances as political theater shows how low a human being can go. And this human being happens to be, sadly and tragically, the President of the United States.
Sanctuary cities aren't just in major metropolitan areas, though. In fact, there are quite a few right here in Washington state. According to the Center for Immigration Studies, 19 counties in Washington are considered sanctuary counties. In eastern and central Washington, Spokane, Franklin, Walla Walla, and Yakima counties are all considered sanctuary cities. Then there's Langley, Washington. The town's city council voted to become a sanctuary city in 2017. With a population under 2,000 and a police force of only 4, locals worry about the impacts an influx of people could have on their lifestyle. But the mayor said if any immigrants were brought to Langley, it would be more like a handful and they would be able to be accommodated. Washington lawmakers are on the verge of passing legislation that would protect consumers from surprise medical bills. These often come in the form of balance billing. This is when healthcare provider bills a patient for the difference between what the patient's health insurance chooses to reimburse and what the provider chooses to charge. The proposal passed the Senate earlier this week. It now goes to the House for a concurrence vote before heading to the governor's desk. This is the fourth time lawmakers in Olympia considered a proposal banning the practice that leaves consumer with huge out-of-pocket costs. 18-year-old Dominic Altiro spent 8 months recovering at a local children's hospital. This came after he broke his back riding at the rodeo. Now that he's all healed and he's taking the day to give back to the hospital. KREM 2's Shayna Waldtower tells us more about this event he's helped with.
Yeah, cornhole is one of several events today raising money for the children who need it most.
Today we're having a carnival right now for Shriners Children's Hospital.
Food, an Easter egg hunt, face painting, a mock rodeo, all events for local children. It's a part of the Freedom Reigns Rodeo Princess Coronation. Funds raised from royalty crowning events are typically used to raise money for the rodeo and its operations. But this year, the rodeo was giving half of its donations from the event to the Shriners Children's Hospital of Spokane.
I am very personal with Shriners Children's Hospital with how they've helped my brother.
The decision came after rider Dominic Altiro spent a lot of time at the hospital after an accident.
I broke my back bull riding. I had a bull come down right in the middle of my spine.
In August of last year, he says he was riding when he fell off and the bull stepped on his back. So he received his treatment from Shriners. Now, 8 months later,
my spine is fully healed and I'm actually able to start riding again.
So today's event is all about giving back and helping other children recover as quickly as possible.
When my sister told me that she wanted to take some of the money from that she raised as our coronation and take it and put it back into Shriners, I decided I was going to help out with everything I can in getting it all put together.
It's just so dear to my heart. My brother is one of my biggest supporters, so being able to know that he'll be able to follow his dream as long as he possibly can just is really exciting for me.
Freedom Reigns is also holding a banquet with a silent auction to raise even more money for the hospital. In Spokane, Shayna Waldtower, KREM 2 News.
Love that story. Today is National Record Store Day, and the Spokane community came out to celebrate. National Record Store Day started in 2008. It's meant for fans old and new to get out to their local independent record stores and find some hidden treasures. Vinyl record enthusiasts in Spokane came out to 4,000 holes to get their hands on 400 separate Record Store Day releases.
I usually buy records throughout the year, but normally on Record Store Day, the limited edition stuff that you can't find otherwise, like this Lightning Hopkins, can't find it normally.
It's just like those limited editions that come out during this time that, you know, you just don't, either they're reissues on vinyl that have never been reissued before, or just limited runs of things like maybe in like the 500 count.
Pretty neat, and I bet they found some good records. Well, some Gonzaga students got out with some neighbors to brighten up their community today. About 100 neighbors, GU students, and members of the Fourth Memorial Church walked the Logan neighborhood today to clean up the neighborhood streets. They began at the church at the intersection of Standard and Indiana and then fanned out across the area. Gonzaga students we caught up with say they love getting the chance to make their community a better place.
It all comes down to resources, and the way that a family works and the way that a community works is to gather when there's a need and put all the resources in one place. And so I think that's the whole heart of this event.
It's a really cool opportunity for students on campus to reach the broader Spokane community and to kind of really get a feel of the area that we live in and to make connections outside of campus.
The students also cleaned up the yards of their elderly neighbors, and a big congratulations and a big thanks to all of the volunteers. As the Boeing investigation draws to a close, the FAA and 3 major airlines met in D.C. They discussed 3 major issues looming after the grounded 737 MAX planes. We'll tell you what those were. And in the blink of an eye, a small town in Texas is devastated after a massive tornado ripped directly through it. We have new video and new information just into our newsroom. Stay with us.